Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is a wild one, and honestly, we need to have a serious sit-down talk about the explosive, heartbreaking real-life drama surrounding our beloved Kirsten Storms and her ex-husband, Brandon Barash. Grab a coffee and get comfortable, because the tea is piping hot, incredibly messy, and we have a lot to unpack today. I literally cannot even process what I am reading right now. I am sitting here late at night, scrolling furiously through my feed after watching the latest episode, and my jaw is completely on the floor. I mean, how do you do this to the mother of your child? I am so furious I can barely type, but I need to get this out of my system because this entire situation is just toxic. Everyone knows that there are always two sides to every story, both on and off the canvas, right? Well, that is exactly what a massive portion of the General Hospital fandom cannot help but think right now, especially when it comes to Kirsten Storms. We have watched her for decades, and seeing her drag through the mud like this is just sickening. So, let's get right into the ugly details. The actress, who is obviously best known for her iconic decades-long role as Maxie Jones on our hit ABC soap, has made it pretty clear that things have gotten incredibly nasty between her and her ex-husband. And I do mean nasty. Otherwise, she absolutely wouldn't have name-checked him in the very public way that she did in her latest post on Instagram this past week. Kirsten is usually so private about the deep details of her personal life, so for her to come out swinging like this, a line was crossed. A massive, unforgivable line. Because here's what happened. Brandon actually went ahead and filed a restraining order against Kirsten. And in doing so, he has revealed to the entire world, thanks to the vultures over at TMZ, who immediately got their hands on the court documents, that she has been going through a lot of very unfortunate, deeply personal things behind closed doors. And I just have to ask, why? Why take this to the media? If you are genuinely concerned about the mother of your child, you handle it privately. You handle it in family court. You do not let it become a tabloid spectacle. It feels so incredibly calculated. Let's break down these allegations, because they are heavy, and they feel designed to completely humiliate her. Apparently, Brandon claims in these documents that Kirsten has had a very hard time finding stable housing over these last few years. He put it on public record that she was evicted from her most recent apartment in Tennessee and has spent a lot of time living in hotels or crashing with friends. I mean, my heart just breaks for her. We all know the economy is terrible, but to have your housing struggles broadcast to millions of soap fans, that is a special kind of cruelty. But it gets worse. Brandon also claims that Kirsten has been suffering from delusions and hallucinations. Wait, I need to pause right here. Mental health is not a weapon. If someone is truly suffering from delusions or hallucinations, they need medical support, grace, and privacy. They do not need their ex-husband blasting their medical struggles to TMZ. Kirsten has been incredibly open in the past about her brain surgery and her mental health breaks from the show. She has always been honest with us. So to see her vulnerabilities weaponized in a restraining order feels so gross. It feels like he is trying to paint the classic crazy ex-wife narrative, and I am not buying it for a single second. And then there's the financial stuff. Brandon says that she is having severe money troubles. He claims her car is about to be repossessed. And the kicker? He actually included the detail that he loaned his ex-wife $5,000, which she has yet to pay back. $5,000? Are you kidding me? You are both successful television actors. You are fighting over custody and restraining orders, and you throw in a petty grievance about a $5,000 loan? That right there tells me everything I need to know about his motivations. What does a $5,000 debt have to do with needing a restraining order? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It screams petty revenge. It screams, I want to ruin your reputation. But Kirsten is a fighter. In a highly surprising and completely justified move, Kirsten addressed the drama head-on. She posted about a story online stating I reported the apartment break-in after he filed something against me in court. She directly fired back, claiming that the evidence will show those stories are completely false. Yes, Kirsten. Do not let him control the narrative. I love that she is standing her ground. She is telling the fans, wait for the receipts. And honestly, I am waiting. I believe her. I have been watching General Hospital since the early 2000s, and this whole thing just makes me look at Maxie Jones and Kirsten Storms with so much respect. Kirsten is Maxie. We have watched her grow up on this show. Remember when Maxie was just a rebellious teenager, acting out because she had her cousin B, Jay, Jones's heart beating in her chest? We watched her evolve into a fashion icon, a mother, and a fierce businesswoman. We watched her epic romance with Damien Spinelli. God, remember Spixie? They were the blueprint. And then her beautiful, tragic marriage to Nathan West. When Nathan died, Kirsten's on-screen grief was so visceral and so real that I literally sobbed for a week. She has poured her actual soul into this character for almost 20 years. And speaking of the show, let's talk about the irony of Brandon Barash. Remember when he played Johnny Zakara? He was the mob prince, the bad boy with a heart of gold. Maxie and Johnny even had their own messy history on the canvas. We all cheered when Kirsten and Brandon got married in real life because it felt like a soap opera fairy tale. But now, it is a total nightmare. It completely taints the nostalgia of those old GH episodes. I don't even think I can watch old Johnny Zakara clips the same way anymore, knowing how he is treating her now. I know some people are out there saying, well, we don't know the whole story. Maybe Brandon's just protecting his daughter. I know some people are loving the drama. But personally, I am disgusted by the public nature of it. And thankfully, I am not alone. Many of Kirsten's fans are quite upset that Brandon seemingly threw her under the bus in the way that he apparently did. The comment sections are on fire right now. Many critics have even commented on the matter with things like, I've had my share of this type of man and understand how they can be. That quote hit me so hard because it is so true. So many women know exactly what it looks like when a man tries to use the legal system to punish and humiliate his ex. Another critic wrote, and I quote, Barash needs to grow up and leave her alone. Learn to work within the parameters of the law, and whatever is best for his daughter and Kristen to have a decent relationship with them. Petty revenge isn't the answer. Amen. Say it louder for the people in the back. Petty revenge is never the answer when a child is involved. You do not destroy the mother of your child in the press. You just don't. So far, Kirsten herself hasn't made any additional comments about the matter beyond her initial Instagram post. And honestly, she shouldn't have to. She said her piece, and now her lawyers can do the talking. And can we just take a minute to appreciate what Kirsten is doing on the actual GH canvas right now, while her real life is exploding? Maxie is in the absolute thick of the deception drama. Jen Sidwell, this ruthless, terrifying criminal who is currently holding Jocelyn Jacks and Maxie's own aunt, Liesl Obrecht, hostage in the sub-basement of Windermere, is heavily tied into her company. Sidwell is supplying the Zinsight for the Deceptor. Meanwhile, Tracy Quartermain, Brooke Lynn, and Lucy Coe are running around Windermere, threatening Sidwell with an FTC audit, guided by Rick Lansing. Maxie is right in the middle of this massive corporate warfare. She has to put on her power suits, march onto that set, and deliver complex, high-stakes dialogue while her ex-husband is telling the world her car is getting repossessed. The sheer professionalism that takes is absolutely unmatched. Give this woman an Emmy just for showing up to work. Honestly, Brandon's acting a little bit like Peter August right now. Remember when Peter tried to isolate Maxie? Remember how he faked being the good guy, Henrik Faison, and manipulated everyone around him? Maxie had to literally fake her own daughter's kidnapping and give baby Louise to Brooke Lynn just to keep her safe from a toxic man. Maxie lived in constant fear, playing a psychological game of chess with a sociopath. And she won. Maxie survived Peter August. So when I see a man trying to publicly break Kirsten down now, all I can see is that same resilience. Maxie always wins, and Kirsten will too. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself, but can we also talk about the fact that the entire General Hospital cast is just going through it right now, in real life? Because Kirsten isn't the only one dealing with a nightmare ex. Steve Burton, our iconic Jason, is literally in the middle of his own brutal custody battle with his ex-wife Cherie. I mean, remember when Cherie got pregnant, and Steve had to publicly announce it wasn't his baby and file for divorce? Wild. And now, he's filing legal documents accusing Cherie of blatant parental alienation regarding their daughter Brooklyn, claiming she refuses to acknowledge his new wife Michelle. It is a total mess. Steve is trying to celebrate his 16,000th episode milestone and his return to the set, and he's fighting in family court. What is in the water at the ABC studios? Why are all our favorites fighting for their lives in the legal system? But here's the difference. Steve's situation is incredibly messy, yes, but Brandon's attack on Kirsten feels uniquely cruel because of the mental health weaponization. It is one thing to fight over scheduling and pickup times like Steve and Cherie. It is another thing entirely to leak that your ex-wife is hallucinating and living in hotels. That crosses a fundamental line of human decency. And the off-screen drama doesn't even stop there. Look at Nancy Lee Grahn. She is spending half her time basically running for political office on social media. People are literally joking that she's going to quit acting as Alexis Davis to go to Washington, D.C. because she is so fixated on politics right now. And Kate Mansi? She just announced she's leaving the role of Christina Corinthos Davis. The writers are literally writing her out by having Christina magically get accepted to medical school at UCLA. Like, what? Christina didn't even finish college. The writers are just spinning a wheel of reasons to get people off the canvas, because the behind the scenes chaos is bleeding into the show. But through all of this chaos, Kirsten Storms stays. Kirsten shows up. She has been a pillar of this show for almost 2 decades. She has given us everything. We have watched her navigate the loss of Nathan, the terror of Peter August, the complexities of surrogacy, and the cutthroat world of deception cosmetics. She is a legacy character in every sense of the word. The GH fandom is fiercely protective of our own, and right now, Kirsten needs that protection more than ever. I just want Kirsten to know, if she ever reads the forums or watches the videos, that the true fans have her back. We are not buying the TMZ smear campaign. We see the petty revenge for exactly what it is. We want her healthy, happy, and thriving, both on and off the screen. We are going to keep supporting Maxie Jones as she takes down Jen Sidwell, and we are going to keep supporting Kirsten Storms as she takes back her narrative. Keep fighting, Kirsten. Do not let anyone dim your light or paint you as something you are not. You have survived worse on the canvas, and you will survive this in the real world. The records will show the truth, just like you said. And until then, we are standing right here with you. Am I the only one who feels this fiercely about it? Let me know in the comments, guys, because I am fired up and I know I can't be the only one.